In previous lessons, I have mentioned that an Excel file is called a workbook. A workbook contains multiple worksheets. You might also hear them called tabs, but I don't like this because we already have the tabs of the ribbon and it can cause confusion. So I will be calling them worksheets, but should you hear the word tabs, have in mind that it can be used for the worksheets too. Moreover, I have said that you can have as many worksheets as the available memory your computer allows. In practice, managing too many worksheets becomes a bit difficult. So if the number of worksheets starts increasing significantly, it's a sign that perhaps the way you have constructed the workbook needs to be optimized, or maybe it's time to create a database. But this is another discussion, so just keep in mind that you can create as many worksheets as you want, but if they are too many, that's not a good thing. Having said that, I need to say that in real life there are a lot of workbooks that contain many worksheets. So in this lesson I will show you how you can manage your worksheets if they are a lot. In the open workbook that I have in front of me, there are 3 different worksheets. Moving from one to another is very easy. I just click on the worksheet I'm interested in and the worksheet becomes active. The active worksheet has a somewhat different appearance so that I can understand which one is currently active. Here the London worksheet is active and that's why it's displayed in this way. I will click on the Madrid worksheet, so I moved to that one and it has this appearance indicating that now this is the active one. This is the selected one. To insert a new worksheet, I have several options available. One way to do it is from the Home tab on the ribbon. In the Cells palette, I will click on the Insert tool, and from the options available, I will click on the Insert Sheet tool. Notice that a new worksheet has been created and it is positioned to the left of the worksheet which was active. Keep this in mind because this is how the insertion of new worksheet works. Every time I insert a new worksheet, it is placed to the left of the active worksheet. Another way to do this thing is by right-clicking on a worksheet. Let's say I want to create a new worksheet to the left of the Athens worksheet. So I will right-click on the Athens worksheet and I will select Insert. Using this method, I can also choose whether the new worksheet will be based on a template. There are templates for worksheets, not just workbooks, but this is beyond the scope of this basic level of lesson. So for now, I will just click OK here, and the new worksheet is created to the left of the worksheet where I right-clicked. A third way to insert the new worksheet is by using the plus button located at the end of the worksheets. This button has a small difference though. It creates the new worksheet to the right of the active worksheet. So there is an exception to the rule that every worksheet is created to the left of the active one. I will click on the plus sign and as you can see, the new worksheet has been created to the right of the worksheet that was active. I will click on the London worksheet to select it and I will click the plus button again, and once more you can see that the new worksheet has been created to the right of the worksheet that was selected, the one that was active. The last way to create the worksheet is by using the keyboard. I will select the Madrid worksheet and I will press the keyboard shortcut combination Shift F11. Now a new worksheet has been created to the left of the selected one. So worksheets are created to the left of the active one, except when I use the plus button, in which case they are created to the right. I should mention here that worksheets can be easily moved around, so even if you create a new worksheet in a different position than the one you intended to, it's not a big deal. You will see shortly how easy it is to move them, so you don't worry about remembering which option creates the worksheet on which side. Now let's see how you can rename a worksheet. For many people it is very convenient just to let the worksheet have the names given by default, but this is something you should avoid. Spend a few moments to give a proper name for each worksheet. This will save you a lot of time and maybe trouble in the future, so it's a good practice. One way to rename a worksheet is by once again using the right click. So I will go to sheet 2, I will right click on it and I will select rename. Now I can change the name. I will type Paris for example, and I will press enter to complete the entry. The second way, which I think is the easiest one, is to go to the worksheet I'm interested in and double click on it. So I will go to sheet 1 and I will double click on it, so the name field is opened. With backspace I will delete the existing name and I will type Munich, for example, here, and I will press enter. Always remember to press enter to close to finalize your the name you have given. There is one last way to rename your worksheets. I will select sheet 3 and from the home tab in the cells palette I will open the format tool. Generally, although these tools are in the cells palette, they contain functions for worksheets as well, so keep that in mind. Here I will choose the option rename sheet, so the worksheet name field is editable again and I can change it. I will type Milan here and I will press enter again to complete the entry. Now as I create more and more worksheets and their names become longer, you will notice that the space here fills up and it is no longer enough to show all worksheets. I will create a lot of worksheets so that this space here fills up and you can see what I mean. As I said at the beginning of the lesson, if you have that many worksheets, it is not a good sign, but let's say that this is the situation you have. Now that I am packed with worksheets, the arrows at the beginning of the worksheets become active. I will click the right arrow to navigate to the worksheets that are further to the right. Now I will click on the left arrow to move back to the beginning of the worksheets. Something very convenient is to right-click on this area with the arrows, and as you can see, all the worksheets appear in the window. I will double-click on the Madrid worksheet, so I immediately moved there. It's a very easy, convenient tool to use, right-click on the arrows. Now let's see how you can delete a worksheet. The easiest way is to right-click on the worksheet that you want to delete. For example, I will right-click on sheet 5 and I will select delete. I can also delete the worksheets from the home tab in the cells palette. I will open the delete tool. Here there is the option delete sheet, which deletes the currently active worksheet. I don't want to delete this one, so I will click the arrow on the delete tool again to close the button. Now let's talk about how you can move a worksheet. The easiest way is as follows. I will click with the left mouse button on the Athens worksheet that I want to move, and I will hold down the button. With the left mouse button pressed, I will drag to the right and notice this little triangle that appears showing where the worksheet will go if I release the mouse button. I will move it between the Munich and Madrid worksheets, and I will now release the mouse. So in this way, I've moved the worksheet to this position. I will do it one more time. I will click on the Madrid worksheet. I will hold down the left mouse button and I will drag it to the left. Let's say I want to place it at the beginning of the worksheets. As there are other worksheets to the left, I will need to drag it a little further to reach the beginning. This needs that I can handle the mouse very well. So now I will release the mouse button to make this to be the first worksheet. This is the easiest way, but if handling the mouse worries you, there is another way. I will right-click on the Milan worksheet and I will select Move or Copy. Now I can choose where I want to move the worksheet I just right-clicked on. Notice here above the list with the worksheet names, it says Before Sheet. So also notice here that at the bottom there is a checkbox that says create a copy and it is disabled. You will see shortly that through this you can create a copy of a worksheet, but for now I will leave it inactive and focus on moving the worksheet. Let's say I want to move the Milan worksheet between the Munich and Athens worksheets. I will scroll down the list and I will select the Athens worksheet because I want it to be placed right before that one, so in between Munich and Athens. I will click OK, and as you can see, the Milan worksheet moved where I wanted it, right before the Athens worksheet. Let me now show you how you can copy a worksheet. One way to copy a worksheet is through the right-click, similar to what I did before when I was moving a worksheet. I will right-click on the Athens worksheet and I will choose again the option Move or Copy. Now I will activate the Create a Copy checkbox and I will select the London worksheet so that the new copy will be created before this one. I will click OK, and now a copy of the worksheet has been created containing exactly the same data as the original worksheet, but they are completely independent from one another. I will go to cell A2 and I will type ADs here, for example, and I will press enter. Now I will move to the Athens worksheet to show you that the change made inside the copied worksheet is independent from the original one. There are two different worksheets that at the time of copying had the same data, and afterwards I can work on them separately. I can also create a copy by using the mouse in the same logic as moving. I will click on the Athens worksheet, hold down the left mouse button. Without releasing the mouse button, I will press at the same time the control key on my keyboard. Notice that as soon as I pressed control, the mouse cursor changed to a plus sign, indicating that I'm now making a copy of the worksheet and not moving it like before. With control pressed and the left mouse button held down, I will drag to the left to position it before the London worksheet. I will release the left mouse button and the control key. What happened here is that I created a copy of my worksheet. I did not move the original worksheet because I was holding the control key while dragging with the mouse. Another useful feature is the simultaneous selection of worksheets, how you can select two or more worksheets together. By clicking on a worksheet, the corresponding worksheet will be selected, meaning that this is the worksheet that is now highlighted, is the active one. Clicking on another worksheet will move you to that worksheet and the previous selection will be disabled. So each time I click on a worksheet, it becomes selected, but I lose the selection of the previous one. Now pay attention to what I will do next. I will press the control key on the keyboard and hold it down. Without letting go of the control key, I will click on the London worksheet and then on the Milan worksheet. Now I will release the control key. Notice that in this way, multiple worksheets are selected simultaneously, and now I can perform actions on all of them together. For example, I could delete them all at once or move them all at once. With them selected, I will click with the left mouse button on one of them and drag them to the beginning of the worksheets. And when I reach the beginning, I will release the mouse button here, and I have moved them all together to the far left side. In a future lesson, I will show you how you can use this feature to print multiple worksheets. For now, keep in mind that with the control key, you can select multiple worksheets. You can also use the shift key for the selection. I will click on the Munich worksheet to select it, and then I will press and hold the shift key on the keyboard. Now I will click on the Paris worksheet and I will release the shift key. As you can see, all the worksheets in between are now selected. Let me now mention in more detail the importance of properly naming your worksheets. Let me show you a good practice. Avoid sticking to the logic of naming each new worksheet as sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, because it might seem convenient when you create a worksheet, but eventually it won't be helpful. At some point you will not know what each worksheet contains. The best approach is to name your worksheets income, expenses, income 2020, or whatever name corresponds to the content of the worksheet. Don't forget that you might need to give the workbook to someone else, so it is very important that they can understand what you have done with the worksheets. A suitable name can save you, not only you and your colleagues, a lot of time and can prevent misunderstandings, which can easily lead to problems. So spend some time to come up with a proper name for a worksheet. You will get this time back when using the worksheet. To conclude this lesson, although it might seem that I have said a lot, everything is neatly organized and easy to find. By right-clicking on a worksheet, you have all the options: insertion, deletion, renaming, as well as moving or copying. The other options are for more advanced users, so you don't need to focus on them in this series of lessons at least. You can learn all about them in the advanced course. Additionally, from the Home tab in the Cells palette, through the tools for insertion, deletion, and formatting, I have access to the same exact options again. You don't necessarily need to remember all the possible methods, but each method its advantages, which is why there are so many, the more you practice them, the easier it will be for you to remember them and eventually use one when it best suits you. That's all for this lesson. Thank you for watching.